global citizenship and their experiences.
Okay.
So I only have a few questions for you, so I
Sure.
promise it won't take too long. When did the idea of global citizenship or a global citizen first come into your vocabulary or into your thinking?
Probably two different questions there, really. Probably the first time it became prominent in my vocabulary was actually through my doctoral classes. We had a significant amount of time that we spent on global citizenship or global learning. A lot of times I think you can use the two things synonymously.
Yes.
But then even in the course of my teaching and then as a high school principal and starting out as a superintendent, those were always part of conversations with staff about how do we make sure that our kids are prepared to compete globally. So I think you can't use one without the other.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. Was your usage of this term just an accident, an eloquent turn of phrase, or metaphor? And did you really mean it when you started using it?
It was not by accident. Within my dissertation committee, I had one of the individuals who sat on my committee worked with the Wichita public school system, and she was in charge of global citizenship for the entire district.
Wow.
So that's all she dealt with every day, all day. And so that's the first time I dealt with someone who that was their entire focus.
Yes.
I'd obviously heard of it prior to that, but I'd never seen anyone who did that all day, every day.
Do we have someone, and this is a question not on here, do we have someone like that in our district who focuses on that, or is that something that the district is focusing on, how to prepare our students in a global way? Do we have someone that focuses just on that?
We don't have anybody that focuses just on that. It's something that we talk about all the time through our curriculum, especially with technology. How do you ensure that our kids are prepared to compete technologically with kids all over the world? And so it's not someone that we have designated. That's all they do.
But it's definitely something that is a focus of the district and is becoming a focus of the district.
It is, and I don't think we're unique in that. If it's a very connected world now.
Definitely.
So I think that everybody has at least some cursory conversations about global citizenship.
Awesome, thank you. Taking away the term global, what does it mean to you to be a citizen? What informed your thinking in using global citizenship that doesn't necessarily show up in print?
Just to be a citizen, that is, are you a good neighbor, which I think applies globally? Are you someone that tries to increase their learning? It's the scope of the type of person they are, their morals, their values, and then I think you can put the global part in, and a lot of times it's synonymous with technology.
Yeah.
So now do you have all those attributes you have as a human being in normal day-to-day operations? Now, do you do that on a technological scale where you have those same values whenever you communicate with people via technology?
Or around the world?
Or yes.
Around the world. How do you think your own identity as a how do you think about your own identity as a citizen? In which community or communities do you consider yourself a citizen?
You may have to repeat that one.
Sorry, I tripped over my words. A little nervous. How do you think about your own identity as a citizen, and in which communities do you consider yourself a citizen?
My own identity as a citizen, certainly being a superintendent, I'm very visible. So how I portray myself in the public, and then making sure that I am available and visible is very important. So I think that's the citizenship part. As far as globally, I don't think there's ever a time now where, whether it's I get on Twitter or my email sending out things to staff, that I can't consider the global ramifications of anything I put out. So even choosing my words cautiously on Twitter, that I don't offend people maybe from a different ethnicity, or even someone that maybe doesn't reside here. I have Twitter followers that are in other countries.
Exactly.
So it's something that I have to think about and be aware of.
Definitely, especially since you're in the public eye. You're kind of the face of the district.
Yes. As scary as that may be.
What other ideas figured into your thinking when it turned to global citizenship?
Probably the number one thing is how do we make sure that we prepare our kids to be competitive with students in India or Asia, so that they don't enter the job force at a disadvantage to kids from other countries.
Definitely. Instead of global citizenship, why not use terms such as global awareness or global person or member of the human family? What does global citizenship bring to the table that those other terms do not?
Honestly, I don't know if it really does. I think of them synonymously, and maybe I think of it incorrectly, but really that's how I think of it, is synonymous with
They're
those.
all one and the same.
Yes.
Some people argue that citizenship necessarily must be restrained within state and national borders. How would you respond?
I don't agree with that. Citizenship is your character, your morals, your values, how you present yourself, even the ideas that you present. So none of our ideas anymore are confined within a classroom or a state, especially if you put it out technologically. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you can say citizenship anymore without at least the concept that your words and your actions will go out far beyond that. I bet even Tom Brady, his whole thing with football, that's gone far beyond just the United States.
Oh, definitely. Are persons global citizens from birth? Is everyone a global citizen by default or by virtue of living in an interdependent world? Or do individuals become global citizens through life experience?
I think it depends on what resources they have available. As soon as someone is connected technology-wise, they're a global citizen whether they want to be or not. Mm-hmm. Right now, almost everyone is a global citizen pretty much at birth. You know, their parents click a picture of their child and put it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. That Facebook's face, or that child's face, is there for everybody to see globally. Mm-hmm. So I think we're almost global citizens now by default.
Wonderful. And what do you think, and this is a question that wasn't on here but I felt like needed to be asked, what is one of the most, what do you think is the biggest problem facing global citizen, or facing us as a global community right now?
I think the biggest thing is etiquette. Mm-hmm. And that's because even our students now don't understand that the things that they say and what they portray can be very offensive to people from other cultures. Mm-hmm. And kids forget that. And it's not just within their own classroom. We have kids from many different cultures within our classroom, but as soon as you start putting things out there, it opens up a whole array of other issues.
Definitely. Is there any way that, do you feel like in the near future we're going to have to start preparing kids and start teaching them about maybe social media etiquette or technology etiquette? Is that something that you're going to want to see in the classrooms in the near future?
We've started this year at our high schools.
Oh, your high schools.
We've started a digital citizenry, and it deals mostly with etiquette.
Awesome.
And it even gets into some of the pieces of, you are seen globally, how are your words characterized by someone from a different culture?
Definitely. And have you ever judged someone or made an assumption about someone based off something they posted in a digital way? Absolutely.
And I myself suspended a young lady for the first time in a decade since I've been a high school principal because of things that she posted online. People believe that freedom of speech gives them the right to say whatever they want, whenever they want, and that's really not the case. So whenever we look at applicants, it is not uncommon for us to check out a Facebook page, or if they have a Twitter account, do they have inappropriate pictures? Do they have things that they say even to their peers as a senior in college that would be deemed inappropriate? It's one of those things, people's character is best judged by how they act when they think no one's looking. A lot of people think that whatever they post online is just, they can say whatever they want. I think it speaks a lot to your character, because a lot of people, things that they would say online, they'd never say in person, so maybe that's their true character.
Definitely. Well, I think that's all I have for
Okay.
you. I really appreciate you
Sure.
coming and meeting with me today,
Sure.
and really supporting me as I further my education in the district. I was an Independence kid growing up, K
were
through
you?
12. I was, graduated from William Chrisman in 2006.
Okay.
Did my student teaching, worked at Kids Safari, grew up in the area. So I'm very thankful to give back, and I'm thankful for your support in my
Sure.
trying to achieve my higher education.
Which elementary school?
Randall Elementary.
Randall Elementary.
I had Roger Myers as my principal.
Okay.
He was amazing. It was the last sixth grade class. Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Now,
Oh,
are you an Independence kid yourself?
I am not.
You're
I'm
not.
I'm a Fort Osage kid.
I'm sorry. We won't hold that against you.
that's okay. Our daughter will be an Independence kid too. So
So how old is she?
She is 2.
Okay.
So she'll be going to Blackbird here in a couple of years.
Okay.
So
That's
she'll be
where
an
my kids
Independence
go.
kid. We'll make it up to him that way. He actually, my husband just had a really great question. Are we as a district looking at anthropology and introducing it into core classes?
Honestly, we haven't had any of those type of discussions.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's your answer, sweetheart.
By the question,
Well,
it seems like an unusual one.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what he's
Global citizenship and anthropology, you're talking about different cultures and different, anthropology plays a part in humans,
Mhm.
and the study of humans and how we react with each other, everything that we actually do. So
Now we do get into that in sociology and psychology, but we don't have a separate anthropology
Okay.
class.
So they're kind of merged.
They are.
The ideas and concepts are merged into one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think you see that quite a bit, even at the collegiate level, where they will get into that.
Definitely. I really appreciate it. I know these questions weren't easy ones.
They were unusual. It's not my
Yes.
normal questions I get.
I know, that's why I was like, I probably ought to forward these to him because I would probably feel a little overwhelmed if they were thrown at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take some thinking, so I really appreciate
Sure,
you
not a
giving me the
problem.
time and coming to me. I was like, oh, I don't mind coming to you, and